Casemiro's incredible impact at Man United summed up by Bruno Fernandes' instruction. As his leadership and captaincy credentials grows among the United squad, Casemiro was spotted barking instructions at Bruno Fernandes during Manchester United's 3-1 win against West Ham on Wednesday, despite tasting success just days earlier. The Red Devils won their first trophy in 6 years last Sunday by beating Newcastle 2-0 at Wembley in the Carabao Cup final. Their celebrations were put on hold due to their FA Cup fixture against the Hammers 3 days later, a game they could have lost. Said Benrahma's second-half goal gave the visitors a 1-0 lead at Old Trafford, but an own goal from Naif Agid, plus strikes from Alejandro Garnacho and Fred, helped Erik ten Hag's side complete a comeback. Casemiro was at the heart of their revival. The Brazil international, who was signed from Real Madrid in a £70 million deal last summer, was introduced at halftime in a bid to win the cup tie. His influence was spotted by United legend Gary Neville, who was at Old Trafford to see Wednesday's action unfold. At one point during the second half, Casemiro went over to Fernandes to tell him where he to deliver a free kick. The central midfielder scored a brilliant header in the Carabao Cup final to be named as the man of the match and wanted to replicate that goal. Fernandes listened to the 5-time Champions League winner. The Portuguese playmaker found his teammate in the box, but the header was saved by goalkeeper Alphonse Areola. Despite this, it proved how influential Casemiro is on this United team. Neville recalled the incident during an interview with Sky Sports. He said, "I was watching the game and there was a feeling of, will they come back? Is this one game too far after a cup final on Sunday? So I was a little bit nervous. But this team is starting to build a trust with the fans and they are never out of a game. They've got a great spirit. They've got that bounce back in them and they never feel like they are beaten." There was a point last night. We talk about him a lot now, but what Casemiro has done to that dressing room and that team is off the scale. There was a free kick on the left-hand side that Bruno Fernandes had at one point. Casemiro went and told him. He pointed at the spot. I don't know if anyone remembers it. There was about 10 or 15 minutes to go. He said, "Put it there and I'm going to head it." Bruno put it there and he actually went and headed it. The goalkeeper saved it, but he just looks at this moment in time that he is in complete control of that team. He looks like such a dominant force. He's the type of person on his own who could have a massive impact. Casemiro did actually score a header from a Fernandes free kick during Wednesday's game, but the goal was disallowed for offside. After the events of the last week, United fans should expect to see more headers from Casemiro before the end of the season. In other news, Erik ten Hag's Alejandro Garnacho decision could benefit Manchester United for years to come. Erik ten Hag has done a lot of good things that have resulted in immediate success at Manchester United. He's ridded the squad of negative influences, he's improved harmony in the dressing room and has ended the club's 6-year trophy drought. He signed some great players, improved and instilled lost confidence in several flailing stars and has brought a winning mentality back to the club. The Dutchman truly has created a sense of excitement that has been missing for far too long. It's remarkable how much ten Hag has done in just a few months in charge and how much it is already bearing fruit. United supporters have always been patient with managers and the Dutchman likely would have gotten away with steady improvement this season. A trophy and return to the top 4 was the absolute best case scenario, and nobody was seriously hoping for any more. But more they have got. However, it's not just the short term the manager is having an impact, but the long term as well, which is handy since it feels like the two parties are set for a long time together. When ten Hag was hired, one of the aspects of the job he did at Ajax which excited fans so much and fit the ethos of United perfectly was his development and trust in young players. Ten Hag built 2 great teams in Amsterdam. The first came within a whisker of an unlikely Champions League final and saw the likes of Frenkie de Jong, Matthijs de Ligt, Hakim Ziyech, Sergino Dest and Donny van de Beek all earned big money transfers off the back of it. It took time for the next generation to come through, but ten Hag nurtured yet more incredible talents to make his side competitive on the biggest stage once more. Familiar faces Lisandro Martinez and Antony as well as Ryan Gravenberch and Nasser Mazraoui all joined the manager in moving on to pastures new in the summer. Much like Ajax, United have prided themselves for years on their ability to unearth, develop and offer opportunities to talented young players. But while they have had Marcus Rashford, Scott McTominay and Jesse Lingard in the team over the last few years, there haven't been many others to break through and remain in the side. That is until this season and the emergence of Alejandro Garnacho. The Livewire has thrilled fans enough to change the words of a chant usually sung for Cristiano Ronaldo. He is the sort of player who moves supporters to the edge of their seats whenever he gets the ball, ready to be raised to their feet when another brave gambit pays off. A box office attraction, but it's been ten Hag's expert fostering of his talents that have allowed them to shine. He has not been afraid to start Garnacho but has done so rarely, instead giving plenty of cameos off the bench where his risky, youthful approach can shine more without being as costly. Garnacho was struggling to have the same impact when starting matches, though no surprise at all given he's 18 and still getting to grips with the senior game. Ten Hag has been aware of this, but ahead of Wednesday's FA Cup tie with West Ham laid down the gauntlet and set the clearly determined youngster a challenge. "I see today another step," Ten Hag said. "I said to him before the game, it's time. You have an impact when you come on, but now you have to have an impact as a starter, and I think he is capable of it, so that is the next step he has to make." Garnacho delivered in spades. Not only did he score a crucial goal after a stunning touch and finish, but he persevered and continued to try things despite failing repeatedly and being on the wrong end of some questionable treatment. He never once let his head drop, and his hard work was rewarded with yet another special memory. It boils down to excellent management. At every stage of Garnacho's development, Ten Hag has taken the right step and made the right decisions. It certainly bodes well for United's future if the Argentine continues to shine, but also for the host of talented players waiting for their own chance. Those pushing to break into the first team and making their way through the youth ranks will look up to Garnacho as something to aspire to, something that can be achieved if they continue to work hard and develop their games. Casemiro looks to be the next in line, but there are plenty more with dreams and the quality to make them come true. Ten Hag has shown them that they can. Additionally, knowing that there is a manager who will trust youngsters to play will help United in their youth recruitment down at the youngest ages. While the club is always going to be an attractive proposition for any aspiring footballer or eager parent, they are not the only competition in town. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash the like button and make sure to subscribe to Man United Hub to get all the latest updates.